Hi guys, I'm May and this is Sam, and welcome to workshop 5, which is called Pay Attention. This workshop is part of a series all about career and self-development for young aspiring creatives. And this workshop in particular is about the unique things that you guys can put on your CV and how to get an employer to pay attention to you. So we're going to take you through 5 different ways that you can sell yourself on paper and stand out from the crowd. Companies obviously get loads and loads of CVs, but no one is telling you exactly what they're looking for. And Sam and I have basically talked to loads of companies and loads of talent teams before. So we want to give you tangible, useful advice that will actually help. The advice is short, but it is to the point. And there's an article available that reiterates everything that we'll be telling you. So make sure you read it or save it. There's a link here on the video to the article, and we'll also be adding it to the comment section below. So I'll hand over to Sam to go through the 5 different ways.
Okay, so 5 things that you should have on your CV that other people won't have, basically. So let's start with number 1. Good place to start. So being self-taught. Okay, anyone under the age of 25 has probably self-taught something to themselves. They just might not have realized it yet. So, or they might take it for granted and just not think it's worth putting down. If you know how to edit a video, use Photoshop, I don't know, any kind of marketing skills, if you know how to present something, host an event, exactly. These are things, if you haven't paid for a course for it and it's something that you have taught yourself via the means of Google or just working out, however, just playing around with things, that is something that demonstrates self-teaching abilities, which is amazing for an employer to see, because they'll be like, oh my God, this person has, well, for a start, if you have, for example, self-taught video skills, oh my God, that they'll be like, well, we need that as a skill from you. But also it demonstrates that you understand how to go out and find information for yourself. So it's a really good way of demonstrating that you're kind of very proactive, and you're not satisfied with just sitting back and waiting for information to come to you. So recommend that you get a whole section on your CV all about being self-taught, and list any skills that you possibly can that you've picked up along the way without the help of anyone else. Leads me nicely on to the second point, which is intuition. So self-teaching and intuition are quite closely linked, but they're demonstrative of complementary but different skills. So intuition is, I guess, best explained if, for example, you were working at a company and your manager comes up to you and they say, okay, can you find out how we can make a podcast in-house? Okay, so lots of people their instinct would be to ask loads of questions or go away and Google how do you make a podcast and then come back to their manager just with loads of questions. That's actually really irritating for a lot of people, because your manager is asking you because they don't know the answers to the questions themselves. That's why they've gone to you to find out more. So intuition is basically, instead of asking loads of questions, you go away, come up with the list of questions, and then try and find out those answers yourself before going to somebody else and asking them. So it's basically trying to learn without the help of anyone else. So you can see where the self-taught and intuition links are quite close, but it is different because it's basically a reactional skill. So by just simply mentioning the fact that you are intuitive as a person, and that rather than immediately going to someone and asking loads of questions, you like to go and find out the answers yourselves, that is an amazing trait to have. And that is something that every employer wants, because frankly, you're not wasting their time with questions that they don't know the answers to. And you are just an inherently good member of the team to have around. So intuition is really, really valuable. It saves them a lot of time. Okay, so the third thing is, it's less of a thing to have on your CV. It's more to go to accompany the CV. So recent news about that company. So everyone knows that you should tailor a CV or a cover letter, sorry, I was about to say covering letter, came out weird, a cover letter to that company. Personally, I think cover letters are an absolute waste of time. I think the email should be the cover letter, but some people like to do all 3, email, cover letter, and CV. When you are sending whatever it is, email or cover letter, over to the company that you want to apply for, it is a good idea to reference the fact that you have done lots of research on that company, or that you understand them and their business, and that can be demonstrated in mentioning something that has happened to them in the news recently. So if you're applying to a large company, the likelihood is that they have lots of press about themselves going out all the time, so they'll be featured constantly in the news. On the article that we've written, there's a very easy way of finding out that news about that business. So I won't bore you with the details here, but I recommend that you go and look at the article in order to be able to find out that news. But if you mention something that has happened to them recently, and you link it back to yourself getting a job with them, that demonstrates the fact that you are obviously paying attention to who they are as a business, which means that you are already standing apart from all of the other candidates who are likely to be sending in emails or cover letters that are just kind of copy and paste vibes. So it's a good way of demonstrating that you are emotionally invested in that company, and that's why you're a good candidate, because you care about them and what their recent news is, and you keep up to date with them as a business.
I actually saw something on LinkedIn which I thought was great, is that this manager basically said that he was looking through CVs, and this, I guess, guy or girl actually wrote in the CV a role that they thought that they could play, even though the role, they didn't even have that role. So, actually coming up with ideas of how you can add value to the company. They were so kind of blown away by it that they actually created this new role for this person, because they had never thought about this particular, I guess, role. So again, it's just showing all of these things like intuition. You're reading about the company, you're really understanding what they do, and then also highlighting how you specifically would be the best person for that job.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking for people who will add to the team, not just sit there and kind of I guess, do nothing the whole time. And a good way of demonstrating that is showing that you care, showing that you pay attention to who they are and what they do. Give off that impression that you have lots of ideas and you're willing to get stuck in. That's the main thing.
There are Absolutely. So many emails apparently that talent teams get, and the young person or candidate hasn't changed the name of the company. So it's a different company's name, and that is just obviously a red.
Yeah, it's not good.
Not good.
So the fourth point, make it look like the industry, basically, is more of a design feature, I feel. So May is actually, in our little duo, May is definitely the design girl. So if you have a May, please go to them to help you out with the design if you're a bit like me and you've got no idea what's going on. But basically, if we're talking about stories, so my friend who shall remain anonymous, it's neither May nor I, so I felt like that might have sounded like it was us. It's a friend.
Do you call yourself a friend?
No, but when people are asking for a friend, it's just you. So basically, someone that I know was in the finance world, but they really, really hated it, and they wanted to get into fashion, and so they basically saw a job but they didn't want to start again, because they've already spent years and years building up their experience in finance, and so they were is there a way of bypassing the junior roles and going straight into something that is slightly more my level? Spoiler alert, she didn't get the job in the end, but what she did is, so it's a fashion company, obviously, a very, very well-known fashion company. She made it was a buying job, so a fashion buying job. She made basically a kind of shoe box with a lookbook that she designed in it, and basically hand delivered it to the head office, addressed to, she used LinkedIn, found out who the head of buying was at the company that she was applying to, went to the head office, hand delivered it, made sure with the security guard that it was going to be delivered to the lady that she wanted to get it delivered to. And then bear in mind, she's had zero fashion experience, literally zero. And then she got a call back, and she got called in for an interview for a job that wasn't even a junior job. It was like a kind of, it was a junior management role, I think. So, but she spent so much time designing this shoebox to make it look like it was appropriate for the business that she was trying to apply to. You know, she's gone to the effort of making a little lookbook with her predictions for what, you know, the trends for this fall were going to be or whatever. And she managed to land a role for a job that she had no experience in. Landed an interview, sorry, for a job that she had no experience in. So, design, and you know, people will take notice of the effort, and especially if you design it in a way that I guess reflects the personality of that company. Again, it demonstrates what we were saying earlier, which is basically you pay attention to that business and you care about them. Showing that emotional investment is really valuable, because it demonstrates that you will work really hard at that company because you clearly love what they do. So that's a little story about making it look like the industry. So you can go as big or as small as you want with this, really. Obviously, if you want to apply to 100 different jobs, I wouldn't recommend traipsing around the UK with, you know, shoe boxes to all of those 100. You'll probably waste a lot of money with that. But you can definitely stand apart from the crowd with the help of design tools. Definitely. Wouldn't you say, Maz? Design girl.
Yeah. And you guys are creatives, so you're, you know, already got creative ideas and things like that. So I'm sure you can think of something that is going to be different.
Exactly. Think about it this way as well. If you get 100 CVs that all look exactly the same, will you remember any of them? If you get 99 CVs that all look exactly the same and then one looks completely different, obviously you're going to remember it. You know, that's just the way that the human brain works. So you think about it that way, maybe. And then finally, recreational projects. So younger people are much more likely to have done volunteering and community work or like collaborative projects than anyone over the age of 30. So it is likely, I mean, not all of you will have done it, but it is likely that at some point you have basically become involved in some sort of recreational project. It doesn't have to be charity. It doesn't have to be about the community. It can just be like you and your mates started some Instagram account that you then got 1,000 followers on. And yeah, you know, you gave it up after 3 weeks, but you still got 1,000 followers, you know? That's still a recreational project that you can put on your CV. Even if it's still not going, it doesn't matter. It demonstrates that you have ambition, that you're kind of like, that you have ideas and you're willing to follow through with it. Sustaining things like that is difficult. So no one expects you to kind of like have gone from 2 YouTube videos to 5,000 and have like millions of subscribers. I think you have to remember as well that the people who are reading your CV are unlikely to have done anything like that, because they are of a different generation on the whole. So they will find it really impressive, even if your peers are like, yeah, but you know, we only put 5 videos up, or like, yeah, but we only did like 3 podcast episodes. That's not the attitude that the people who are looking at your CV will take. They'll say, oh my God, that's amazing. They started a podcast. What an incredibly creative person. Recreational projects are super valuable and demonstrate a lot about your personality.
And like, you can totally make it look bigger than it is as well, by like, you know, having it on your Instagram or having it on your LinkedIn. You know, if you look at Sam and I's profiles on LinkedIn, we're both podcast hosts and podcast creators. Like, we have actually both released podcasts, which is great, but that doesn't mean we're full-time podcast creators. It just shows that you obviously, you just want to get people to like trust you and kind of give yourself a profile. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, you are being compared to other people. So as long as you're kind of just different to the rest and show that you're actually doing stuff, that's pretty much all it is. It's just showing the company that you're not just sitting there applying for jobs every day.
Yeah, so that's it. Those are the 5 points. So we've got self-teaching, intuition, mention something recent about the company that's been in the news, go to the effort of like designing your CV slightly better than everyone else and making it reflect the industry that you're applying to, and then make sure you put down your recreational projects, no matter how small it is. That's it.
There we go. That's it. So like we said, the article has everything written down on it, and it's available on the ERIC website. Again, the links are here and also in the comments. If you guys did like this workshop and article, we are creating a we're actually creating the ERIC app, which is hugely exciting. It's going to be launching in October, and it's basically going to be full of career and self-development content like this, but just like so much more. And we'll also be connecting you to companies, opportunities, events. I think you guys will love it. So if you are interested in signing up for the app, again, that's on our website, links here. Hope you guys enjoyed this workshop. Do comment, give us your feedback, thoughts. Also, let us know what other topics you guys would like us to cover, because we will be releasing workshops every week.
Yes, yeah. I think we've got 3 more after this. So quite possibly 4, we're not sure. But yeah, we want to keep doing them anyway.
Amazing. Okay, well, thanks, guys. See you next week.